Okay. So, when we're talking about spiritual warfare, there's many different ways in which we can look at spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, there's all these deliverance ministries that are talking about all these things about learning who the demons are, what their names are, all the things that they can do, and characteristics of them. But how much time have we spent learning the characteristics of Yahweh?
Yeah, that's so true.
And giving praise to Him. Because if your Father loves you, He's going to reveal His characteristics to you.
Mm-hmm.
And which He did. We have a whole book on it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it takes some digging in the Strongs to get the full meaning, full extent of the meaning.
Exactly.
But yes, we do have a book on it.
But even at a surface level, we can get an understanding.
Yep.
Right? Even if you use the word love, but you don't understand there's different types of love.
Mm-hmm.
Like you love your children different than you love your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You love your neighbor different than you love your spouse. Right? I hope so.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of love, right? But even if you only know that one word love, and you don't know the 5 different Greek words for love, you'll get the concept that love comes from Yahweh and not from the devil. That he's 100% evil and Yahweh's 100% good.
That's true, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
In 1 John 1, where he says that there's not even one particle of darkness in Yahweh.
Yep.
So Yahweh can't give you something evil.
It also says Yahushua, when he was getting impaled, it says that he did not rail in reply, and there was no trick or wile in him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. There was no darkness in him.
Right. So all these lies are being said about him, and he's not retaliating in any way.
Mm-hmm.
He's letting them take his life.
Yes.
And he's the only one of us who actually had the authority and the power to stop it.
Yes.
And was completely innocent in that situation.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he chose not to do what he had the authority and the power to do.
Mm-hmm.
He chose to let them take his life because he loved us so much. And we get angry because someone cuts us off when we're driving.
Yeah.
Or, or we think that we need to know, honestly, like what we should be thinking about there is he didn't say anything. He didn't talk about how bad the demons were. He didn't talk about the names of the demons. He knew that there were demons controlling these people, and he let the demons control the situation to kill him. That's pretty powerful.
It is.
Because only the demonic world is going to do something that evil.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew that it was the cause of the adversary that was taking his life, and he let it happen anyways. He didn't try names or the characteristics. And yet we today spend an awful lot of time in ministry when it comes to spiritual warfare. We spend an awful lot of time talking about the characteristics of the demons and the evil one, the adversary. But how much time do people spend talking about Yahushua? Talking about what Yahweh's characteristics are, what Yahushua's characteristics were. Yahushua never once put a sickness on anybody. And he was the physical representation of Yahweh.
Yep.
So if he didn't go around and give anybody cancer, then what makes you think Yahweh gave you cancer in order to teach you something?
Yeah. Yahushua didn't give anybody a cancer demon.
No, he did not give anybody a cancer demon because he couldn't give something from the enemy to anyone.
That would not work at all.
There's even a story when the Pharisees come to him and they tell him, "Oh, you must be of your father the devil because you're casting out demons." And Yahshua tells them, he says, a divided kingdom will fall.
Mm-hmm.
A divided kingdom cannot stand. So if I'm kicking out demons in the name of Beelzebub, who are you doing it with? I think that's pretty funny.
That is. Because he saw it right. He knew. I mean, he's Yahweh. So he knew exactly the motive and who those people really were.
Exactly. They're going around saying that we're kicking out demons. We're doing these exorcisms. And in whose name are you doing it in then?
Yeah.
If that's not a verbal slap in the face, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that we should start doing is spending a little more time talking about the characteristics of our Yahweh and really getting that understanding within us. Then these things that we think are problems would become very insignificant very quickly.
Yes.
Because when you think you have a problem, say you think you have a financial problem, and you go read the Psalms about how Yahweh has filled your barns to overflowing, and that your crops will always come in bountiful, and your flocks will never be barren. And that's Old Testament.
Yeah, that is Old Testament.
That's not even New Testament, where he says that my new covenant is even better than the old one. Like, and I'll do exceedingly abundantly beyond what you could think of or imagine, according to the Ruach Hakodesh which works in you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I mean, that scripture in and of itself is enough for you to go, thank you, Papa.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
What problem could you have that Yahweh couldn't fix with exceedingly abundantly beyond what you could think of or imagine?
That is so true. We don't even have an imagination big enough to contain Yahweh.
Exactly. And, you know, I was thinking about that earlier this week, too. It's been a busy week for my brain, hasn't it?
It has been, really.
Because I was thinking about that and how we need our imagination to figure out how to do things and how to understand if something's even possible for us to do, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of ministries that talk about, well, you have to see it in your imagination before you can receive it in your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I understand that, because there's a lot of things that we could exclude ourselves from if we thought it wasn't possible for Yahweh to do it. That we're thinking too small because we're putting our own mental construct around Yahweh. But if he can do exceedingly beyond what we can think of or imagine, then we could never even imagine as much as he's capable of doing.
That is so true.
Maybe we should just expound the boundaries and quit putting any kind of limitations on stuff.
Absolutely we should.
Because we don't have to know the how.
Yeah.
We have to know the who.
Yes. And Yahweh is limitless.
Mm-hmm.
And any limit we have placed upon him, that we are taking his power away.
We are. We're actually taking his power when we spend too much time thinking about demons.
Yes. Or
And
thinking he can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Or talking about something that happened
Mm-hmm.
to you and how terrible it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And that makes me think that really when it comes to spiritual warfare, that the thing we really should be talking about is absolutely nothing about demons.
Yep.
And 100% about what is Yahweh capable of.
Yes.
And, you know, we just started this new series to kind of get people's feet wet. And we've, you know, our last video gave an introduction to this topic. And now I want to move into who is Yahweh. Because if you knew who your identity was, those demons wouldn't mean anything to you.
They wouldn't.
And that really is the source of spiritual warfare. And the how-to and the who-to, it's all of it combined together. Is if you know your identity, then these other things become natural. Because here's an example. You know, I love my example stories. When I was in charge of an office and I needed something done, I had to quickly learn that I shouldn't say something unless I actually wanted somebody to do it. Because my sarcasm got in my way a few times, and I sarcastically said things, and then somebody went and did it, and I was like, oh, I really didn't mean for you to do that. I was being sarcastic. They wasted time doing something that was totally unnecessary. So I learned to watch my words. And then the more I watched my words, the more I realized with great power comes great responsibility, right? I didn't talk to them about the problems anymore. I started talking to them about the solutions. So you're coming to me with a problem. Well, bring me a solution. What do you think is the way to fix the problem? Don't just tell me what's wrong, and then we'll talk about solutions. The same is true with Yahweh. Don't just come tell him the problem, bring him a solution. And the solution is given to you in the scripture. There's, over 150 Psalms. I don't know how many there are. Actually, I should probably look it up. There are so many Psalms, and you could choose from any one of them as an example or a story or a solution to how to fix your problem.
Yep.
And that's just one book.
Mm-hmm.
Or one book that was created into a book, but one collection of words that were put together for us to know the character of our Yahweh. And so as my people that worked for me, as they started to get to know me and learn my character of who I was, they started to be able to learn when I was being sarcastic. And would start questioning things, like if I would say something kind of flippant, they'd be like, do you really mean that? Or like, was that a joke? They started to figure out my character to realize that there were some things that wasn't supposed to be acted upon. And other things that they were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. They could tell the difference in my tone, they could tell the difference in my behavior, because they learned my character. So real spiritual warfare is about learning the character of our Father. Mm-hmm. Not learning the character of the demons, but learning the character of Yahweh, which is what Yahshua did. When Yahushua was walking around as a man, he learned the character of Yah so that he could be just like his Father. And there's all kinds of stories outside of the Bible that talk about how people were even mad at him for learning the character of his Father. Mm-hmm. Because they wanted him to physically be a king. And he told them, you're not understanding. You don't understand what was being said. And that's not what I've come here to do. And to the point where like people were getting upset and leaving. Physically be a king and set the captives free from a physical perspective, not from the Ruach Hakodesh perspective of raising from the dead and allowing us to have the ability to have Ruach Hakodesh and set ourselves free with Ruach Hakodesh, right? And so it's this. So the point I'm trying to make, which is kind of a long point, but I'm trying to make the point that identity is really the key to spiritual warfare.
Knowing who you are and who is your Father, Yah.
Right.
And what he's done and who is in us, which is the Ruach Hakodesh, which is the power. Mm-hmm. And that power is far more, the word that they use is far more powerful than just the word power.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if we could understand the identity and the character of Yah, we could understand who we are.
Yeah.
And then we could then be who we were made to be. Mm-hmm. And all those little demons would mean nothing to us. Mm-hmm. And so spend some time and look into the character of Yah. And yes, as we go through the spiritual warfare series, that's one of the things that we're going to do, is we're going to look into the character of Yah. So first we talked about love, right? Yah is love. Yah is light, and Yah is life. So now you have 3 words to look at: love, light, and life. And if you just focus on these 3 things, you're going to find so much more about his character than you probably even realize.
Yeah, so true.
Because we're so focused looking at the darkness that we're not looking at things through Yahweh's eyes. And we need to turn our thinking around and look from Yahweh down to us, instead of us up to Yahweh.
Yes, because when you're looking down from Yahweh to us, it's so insignificant, so tiny, the problem that he has.
The scripture even says that when you find out who the adversary really is, you will laugh at how small he is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that is so true.
If he's that small, why do we give him the most amount of attention?
Yes.
So instead, let's change our thinking. Let's rewire our brain, turn it around, and look through the eyes of Yahweh at the situations that we're in. All of them, every situation. Look through the eyes of Yahweh. And he said, it is finished.
That's correct. He did. He finished it. It's over. Their adversary was beaten.
Completely, can never come back.
Yep.
So, and I know that when you look at the world, you see something different, right? But we don't talk about what it is that we have. We talk about what we want, right? And that's what Hebrews 11 is all about, is calling into existence the things that are supposed to be, the things that we want, to take a hold of that realm of light, to seize it, to take it, to hold on to it and make it your own. That's what you need to be doing, is taking hold of the realm of light and saying, this is mine, and I don't care what the devil says. I don't care what the adversary says. I don't care what anybody else says. Yahweh said this is mine, and I'm going to hang on to that.
Yep.
It's like, I was thinking of this old country song that I used to know when I was a kid. And the guy said, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then he goes on to talk about all these lies through the whole song. He's saying nothing but lies. And then he keeps every chorus, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And what if we turn that around? Instead of telling lies over and over to convince our brain that it's true, maybe we should tell our brain the truth over and over to convince ourselves that it's true.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better.
Right? It would be a lot better.
Yeah.
So we thank you for listening, and we're excited that you're going through this series with us and all the different videos that we're making. We're excited that you are watching and listening to the things that we have to say. And may Yahweh give you all the shalom in your life that he has offered to all of the children of Yahweh.
Shalom.
Shalom.